Hello, everyone. As you know, Cadey and Cori.
Indeed.
And we are here to share some news. Basically, a lot of people have been asking us when we are gonna have kids, when we're gonna start a family, and we just thought we would update you on what that looks like for us. You wanna kick us off?
Yeah, we have been married what I feel like is 10 years, even though it's not. It's 10 good years. We've been married since 2020. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people have asked when y'all gonna have children. And we wanted to sit and let y'all know that it is not because we have not been trying that we cannot have children or have not had a child yet. And so we have decided as of this point, we've been trying for about a year now, that the best route for us is to do IVF.
Well, I don't think we've decided.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I feel like our doctors have decided.
For sure. So the quick update is, for the most part, once we kind of started trying, things were not happening how we wanted them to happen. So we both went to our respective doctors to figure out like what would be the next steps, just to make sure that everything is good. And it came back not necessarily so good. And the reason why we wanted to like document some of these things is because typically when we talk about infertility, it is mainly shouldered by the woman.
Yeah.
This story is not, it is shouldered by me. So I wanted to be able to share my experience as a male who is kind of struggling with infertility, and then how we go from there. So back in January, or the beginning of the year, I went to my doctor, took some tests, got blood work done, analysis done, things of that nature. My numbers were not looking great. They're not in the tank, but they're not looking great, or they weren't looking great. So we started an intervention, and I had been doing that for 4 or 5 months now, and went back and got some more blood work done, another analysis done. Blood work looked really well. Analysis, not so much. Improvement, maybe not improvement. That's a crazy story. Maybe we'll document that as well. But as per my doctor, the outcome was you should probably start looking at IVF or other means of having a child. And that was heavy news, so we'll get to that.
Sure.
My dream as an aspiring documentary filmmaker is, I think it's a blessing that everything is kind of happening at the time that it is happening. So for those of you who don't know, like I just got my dream camera, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and because I'm trying to film another documentary, but I've been blessed with certain skills, and this is also my story, it's our story. So why not document it, share with other people, because maybe they've been going through the same thing. So we've talked a lot about our feelings, but how do you feel?
Yeah, I think we wanted to document this specifically because obviously this isn't how we thought things would go, and I do know a lot of women who have gone through IVF, and typically I have heard from a woman's perspective with female infertility and PCOS or things like that. And fortunately, as far as we know from the testing that I have done, I don't have any of that. And so I thought that it would be kind of cool to share from a male infertility perspective on what that looks like for us. I definitely think that the first 6 months of us trying, I was like, okay, well, it's gonna happen, ovulation strips, like testing everything on a strict, like I'm documenting everything. And I think at 6 months I was like, okay, something's not right. And I just knew like intuitively that something was off and something was preventing us from getting pregnant. And I know that a lot of times they tell you to wait a full year before seeking doctor intervention or anything like that. But I genuinely knew and had intuition that something was off. And so we started out with going to my doctor. We ran blood tests and did some other imaging and things like that, and everything came back. And so my doctor luckily was like, we can poke and prod you and do all kinds of testing, but let's, test your husband next, because I think he said like 40% of the time it is male factor infertility, which I did not realize. And he said that a lot of people don't realize that. So we did the testing, and we, as far as we know, assume that that's what the issue is. So I think the first 6 months was like, okay, we're doing this. And then when you got on medication, I was like, okay, things are gonna look up, things are gonna be good again. Or not again, but like things are going to go how we want them to. And with the follow-up labs, I think when you told me, because the doctor called you and said, I think you need to consult your wife's doctor about IVF. And I think when you told me that, it was like my world stopped, because that's obviously not how we wanted it to go or how we planned it, or how anybody really expects things to go, because there's so much that goes into it, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, with the medication and all of that. So I think at first it was just kind of like, whoa. And we were sitting at the dinner table, we held hands and we both cried. But I think after about a week and a half of processing it, I am feeling excited, I'm feeling hopeful, and I feel like with the intervention of medicine, we're gonna be able to, have the family that we've always dreamed of. And it's unconventional, but a lot of people go through it, and I think that probably more people have gone through it than you even know. Mm-hmm. And so I think documenting this for me, for you, and for our family and friends is going to shine a light that maybe, or show a perspective that maybe people aren't used to.
For sure. I feel the same. I think first kind of just getting the news honestly made me feel less of a man. We've had this conversation, and I'm sure I will share more about that entire journey and story. But I mean, at the end of the day, the blessing that we would like is a child,
right? And
I don't necessarily care how that comes at the end of the day. So what we are just asking and wanted to update you all is that, one, you're gonna come along for the ride, and it should be super exciting. So this is obviously episode 1, but the person that I am, I've already scheduled out like exactly what we're gonna shoot and what we're gonna do. And then 2, as we are very strong in our faith and believers, we ask for all of your prayers, well wishes, whatever it may be. If you have been through this journey and would like to share tips and tricks, how you felt, things that can help us get through as a couple, please do so. We would never throw that to the side. We would greatly appreciate that. And then also, all my men out there, if you have been through something very similar and can help your boy out specifically, please, I will take whatever I can get that will help me get through, because I'm super ego driven. You know this. I try not to be. It's my downfall, but it is what it is. I'm working on it. So if you have anybody out there that you know, or if you yourself see this and you're like, oh man, I could help him out because I've dealt with this before, that's fine. I'm not going to put your business out there. I'm just putting mine out there. So we thank you. We love you already. And we wanted to bring you along for the story. So
yeah, so this is just the beginning. I think we are going to bring you along with what those next steps look like. We have a consultation coming up, so we'll get into more of it with what it looks like on the insurance side, financially.
What type of conversations are
having at the doctor's.
If we're doing shots, you're going to be there for all of it. So ups, downs, everything in the middle. I hope I don't cry, but I probably will. I'm a sap.
I definitely will, because I cry every day.
The older I got, I'm a sap these days. I look at something like, oh my God. So it is what it is. But I'm just happy to be here. Journey for us, but we gonna get through it.
It was a journey, so follow along.
Until next episode.